Wei. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with me. I'm so excited to talk to you and see you again, and also hear more about the organization that you're starting. I know we worked together a little bit when we were both in Albany. Now I'm not here, but still love Albany in spirit. So really, really excited that you have this going on in the upstate New York area. So first, maybe can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I know a little bit about your background, but you actually were a model yourself, right? So can we start there, kind of like your like growing up in China and then your career and then kind of how you ended up where you are?
Well, Jennifer, thanks
Maybe not
for
too
having
long of a
me.
question.
Yeah, hey, I'll answer one by one. And let me say that it's such a pleasure, such an honor to be with you. And then to when you propose the interview and say, "Ooh, I'm gonna see Jennifer again." That's amazing. Because you really are my mentor with many, many things. You know, the time when you are the director of ICCR, I would just step into the community and then you help me, guide me with offer so many opportunities, connections. I learned just so much from you. So till this day, you know, whatever you told me, you taught me, I still implementing it. So it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to know you and get and work together and really miss that time.
Yeah, but
Hopefully
the
we can do
pleasure
more
is more on
together.
my side. You know, I just thank you so much for everything, really, seriously. Thank you. Then go back to your question. Oh, my Yeah, I was born in like a peninsula part of the China where it's cross ocean. You see Japan and Korea, so it's Shandong province. And then later on, during my college years, my parents moved to Beijing, so that was my home since then. And yes, I did modeling, if you like that part. It's kind of an interesting story that I'm tall and slim. You know, it's from from what I grown up. I wouldn't say that they're a good amount of people like me. But then, if you talk about all across China, no. I mean, in general, a lot of Chinese are more petite on the shorter side. But then I'm sort of tall. So naturally, people always say, "Hey, you know, are you a model or something?" You know, I've been asked again and again during my teenager years. So, but back in Shandong province, I didn't get any chance. So then later on, once I started the university in Beijing, still haven't really anybody approached me. I thought, but maybe I should just go approach somebody and try. So actually, I was already 21 years old, and then walk into a model agency in Beijing. I say, "Hey, can I be a model?" So it was kind of interesting. So nobody discovered me. I kind of offered myself, just want to try.
Mhm.
So yeah, the model agency started arrange me to be trained by a coach and then develop the profile. And then later on, you know, I started to do the T stage and you know, going out to do event with them. So that was a really fun experience because I'd say a lot of the techniques of how to be beautiful and then a certain kind of confidence sort of that developed by that time. And later on I was starting to being attracted by fashion itself, so I went actually back to learn fashion design. And then eventually, I took a master in UK for fashion marketing. By the end, I defined that's what I like the most. When I do design, it was great, all the artistic point. But then always feel like I'm too tall to be a designer.
Does that
You
matter?
know,
Do I have to
exactly when you do fittings for the model, you know, when you're shorter, it's easier. You know, the model standing tall, you kind of do. I'm just like, oh, just look at my designer friends and just don't feel like I'm part of it.
you have
Marketing
to
part
bend
is
down a
great.
little bit?
Yeah, yeah. And then my how to say my crafting skill is so poor. I'm really good in my eye, my
Mhm.
drawing skill, but my crafting skill wasn't really good. So it's like, okay. So, but the marketing part of it, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed to do the PR part, to do publicity, to do events, to, like launching the brand and how to promote it, and then how to study the really successful models like Zara, H&M, those brands especially intrigued me. So I think that they're just wonderful to let certain high fashion, be able to serve more people in the world. So yeah, that was a great experience. And then but none of this actually serves where I live, and not serving much of where I live right now in Albany because we don't really have a lot of fashion over here. It's just not, no, no, it's not one of the fashion centered city, should we say. It's a way of suburban life. But however, everything I did in the past lead me to here. That's what, that's how I
Wonderful.
feel. Yeah. I do remember that after I get married on the year of the Olympics, actually, that my husband's job moved us from Beijing to Shanghai, and then I actually started to wanted to learn the the sort of like the traditional Chinese culture that I didn't
Mhm,
never get the chance to encounter to. Now
mhm,
those things are the Chinese instrument, the Chinese calligraphy,
mhm,
and uh, even the Chinese tea ceremony. So
mhm,
I grown up actually always liked Peking opera, not like being studying from little, but I always just so memorized. I mean, like by the costumes, how the artistic effect to it. Where some
mhm,
of my friends just say, no, it's nothing for me. But I just always loved it whenever I get a chance to
mhm,
see it on TV. So all these time and immersion I spend on the Chinese heritage art really benefit me as well. So I sort of like all lead me to do the things I'm doing today. Just say I would just say American is a great place. Be able to let me to utilize my little skills here and there and sew them together to make it serve more people. That's how I feel about myself.
mhm. Oh, that's so great. Because I mean, the reason I ask about the background too, because as you know, I work with a lot of students, and many times it's hard for them to know like what are the careers that are out there, right? So like
Mm,
for example, like if a teenager says, "Oh, I like fashion," or "I want to be
mm,
a model," like a lot of times it's like, well, that doesn't really sound like a really safe career or like an easy career because
yeah.
it sounds like it's very competitive, But it's so great that like you've also found the design part and also the marketing part and like as you probably know, like there's probably so much um different types of jobs that are out there for people who are interested in design or fashion, but maybe it does not have to be like you're a supermodel, right?
Oh, yes. Now I get the point here. It actually, when we think about fashion now, we think about either design or modeling, or if you're a buyer, or so there are so many things right now you can learn and you can sort of, get into the fashion industry. It's so many
Mhm,
dimensions. Just like even you learn like computer design, you have many dimensions too. Fashion is the same thing. And then so even when I apply for the such as with the my Master of Art degree in UK, I remember there's like you can go purely design or you can go design management, you can go buyer, you can go, fashion marketing, and there are many, I mean, that was a long time ago. So by now there will be a lot of more subject the student can go into. And
mhm,
then I still encourage your student to try because if they really like it, they'll find a lot of good things about it. You just have to like it.
mhm,
Then, such as my case, modeling can only last for a short period of time, as everybody knew, right?
mhm.
It's actually somebody want to start like 15 years old, not like I was already 21, just
Wow.
because you can last your career can last longer as a model. But
Mm,
then design, it's a very specific thing. You really has to have the full package quality in order to be a designer. That's a harder part. That's really a harder part.
yeah.
But then, such as then eventually I tried fashion marketing. Then after that, I was able to get a really good job actually in the really well-known Hong Kong retailer company. So as
Mm,
a assistant marketing manager. So that was pretty good. Yeah.
it's
So.
cool. Yeah. And then so you were also the president of CCC, the Chinese Community Center. And then now you're starting a new organization. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So I immigrated to the USA, to the Albany area, with my husband, and he is local. He was
Mhm,
sent out by GE for many years to China and Asia. That's how we met in Beijing. We had our grand wedding in Beijing, and
mhm,
then eventually, after we had our first child, then. His job, and we decided to come over back here and then close to his family, his siblings
mhm.
at the same time. This is a great place to raise a family. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and then so in the few years for me, I just really need to adapt from living in the high-rise apartment building that I don't need to, call a management office that everything's fine to
Yeah.
here. I suddenly got a house, a big one, and then I assumed all the grass would be green, right? And then later on, like, oh no, you need to take care of them too. And then looking around the properties, all the vegetations, what are they? I was like, what are they? Are these weeds or are these? Oh, they're peonies. Okay. So there are a lot of things I have to learn, and then there's a lot of diapers I have to change too.
Yeah.
You know that.
Of
And then
course.
yeah, after a few years, I had it my son. So the first few years of my life in the USA, it was really a family, learning to be here, learning also with the kids. And then later on, I started to be not honest, a little lost about my position in the world. Like there's a lot of struggle with the family, sometimes with my husband, and sometimes with the kids, and I could lost my temper, and it's like, what is my position in right now? I started to get lost. So
Mhm,
fortunately, at that time, I started to attend the class American Meditation Institute. And then through the years of study, I started to learn so much things about myself, about the world, and about how to deal with pressure and all. And then I learned really the important thing is rather than just say, oh, I deal with the pressure, rather than focus on pressure, but transfer the energy to serve others. So I think that's
mhm,
the most important thing I learned from the classes in American Meditation Institute. So that
mhm.
was the COVID year, um, the beginning part of the COVID year, starting lockdown and all. I started to want to do volunteer jobs. So I started to volunteer, like virtually to teach people English and Chinese because another background me, I do language training. So at
Oh,
the time I was teaching a Times Union reporter Chinese. And then the
mhm.
other round, I was teaching a Chinese nun English. So I was starting there and then got put
Wow.
into the Chinese school here to teach English.
Mhm.
I did that for 3 years and then eventually got putting into the Chinese Community Center, right? Yeah,
Wonderful. Well,
for
tell me more about the Asian Arts New York. I really want to hear about it.
yeah, okay, I'm excited too.
Yeah.
So, during the years I worked for the CC and I also work with other communities in the capital region in the Albany area. Uh,
Mhm,
and then so there'll always be such as we join the Festival Nation events or Papa events for the communities. You would see all the communities are like doing again doing their performances like this show and then the next one and next such as the Chinese community and then the Indonesian community or so one by one you would see communities gather together once or twice a year to do big events together. and
Mm,
the artists as well, perform or crafts. And but then there's actually not any chance for such as the artists to be able to interact together and rehearsal
mm,
together. There's no, all communities are so busy of
mm,
themselves. I know that. I mean, when other community invite me to go to event, as my calendar is full, I wanted to try to go, but sometimes I really couldn't. So I just feel like for art wise, I like to see a platform for community artists being able to gather together and then interact, rehearsal, and then be able to produce good quality shows or visual art exhibitions together. I just feel like how to exactly connect communities, as one part of the way. Because as you said early on, heritage art is just so important to us. We need to sort of like preserve well and try to pass it down, try to stalemate our children use be able to follow them. Otherwise, it'll die down, in our generation. And then there are a lot of more on the bigger picture. What I saw is, as I completely agree with you, I created Ishnar New York is because I believe in arts really can break down barriers and arts can connect all people. It doesn't matter if you don't believe this, you belong to this community or not, doesn't matter because arts and culture has supposed to be no language, everybody
mm,
can enjoy it, you know. So, and then for the idea of create Asian art in New York is really we preserve heritage art and culture, and then we would like to see and help to for a heritage art being integrate with the modern techniques,
mm,
modern concept, and then
mm,
through performances, exhibitions, and workshops, and then be able to attract more broader audience, and then
mm,
especially the same time to create a sense of awareness and empowerment and unity. And then
mm.
by doing all this process, we involve our children and youth to
Yeah.
encourage them, to be more interested and to be self-driven, to be proud part of it. So,
Mm,
and that was the whole idea to create H&R New York as a platform. So we have right now have artists from the capital region, but also across New York State. There are more
mm,
and more artists join us. I mean, in the Albany area in New York State, we do have a good location spot. We're sort of like in the capital. We're not so expensive like New York City, but at the same
mm,
time, we can connect artists from New York City local area, even from Buffalo and like Rochester. So
yeah.
something we can totally do together. And then we actively seeking funding, be able to
Mm,
realize the projects. With suitable project, I would locate suitable artists in order to realize these things into reality. Um, so, there are a lot of the community artists who in New York City, in different regions, they're so talented. And then
mm,
also a lot of them, what they do is only one. So that's like irreplaceable. You cannot replace them. They need
yeah.
to, they themselves needs to be promoted and their arts needs to be appreciated and they need to find somebody to pass it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something what I saw. And then also the same time, the professional Asian artists, their name can be promoted, nicer too. And then at the same
Mhm,
time, I like to see them somehow be able to interact with community artists because they need inspirations from
mhm.
community artists. And
Yeah.
community artists needs to see the technical and then more advanced part from the professional artists. So
Mhm,
altogether, we can do all these blending in interaction and then to create better quality of art that be, sort of like worth to putting the effort to preserve.
wow,
That's my
that sounds
thought.
so
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm,
Like
thank you.
just it sounds like a amazing vision, and it sounds like a lot of work. Like,
I
because
know.
it's sort of
You
a
know
whole
that.
area, the whole state, and then all kinds of
Mm,
art, right? It's like you
yeah.
mentioned, it could be performance art, visual art, like
Mm,
art. So are you including music in there as well?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so like calligraphy, like what
Yeah.
are some of the examples of the different arts that you have?
So we categorize art into two big sections. One is performing art. Now
Mhm,
that would including like the folk dance or musicians,
mhm,
even dragon dance or
mhm,
even Tai Chi performances, even the tea ceremony. I and some artists to do so because they're the purpose to perform. So that's
mhm,
the performing art category. And then there's the visual art category. And then we have also fine arts and decorated arts. So,
mhm,
like the calligraphy, Chinese painting, these are fine arts, or even porcelain making, and then decorated arts such as the window sticker, the paper
mhm.
cuts
Yeah.
arts. Yeah,
Mhm.
is one of the good example of decorative arts.
I
And
see.
then if you see my website, asianartsny.org, you will see I also highlight, I call it ANY featured young artists. So there are
Oh.
a number of them, because first of all, they're good, but then
Mhm,
second of all, it's really to encourage them to like, I'm on the website. So
mhm,
whatever they do, they could be a folk dancer, they could be a musician, they could be Peking opera performer or a lion dancer. So if you're that good and ANY would proudly to make you a role model for other
mhm,
young people to see, they can do good like that. Maybe
mhm.
that's something cool I should consider too, is to encouragement.
So what's your process? So like say there's an artist who is interested to sign on or to join. Like do you have a criteria for them or like do they apply to be in the program? Like how does that work?
Right. Thanks for your question. There is a evaluation process,
Mhm,
meaning that in general, I think the most important thing is uh, if they are professional artists, that's great. But
mhm,
then it has to be come out of the heritage art section. They can be, in the modern approach as I wanted to, said in the beginning, but it has to have the sense of the heritage art background. And if they're not, if they are community artists, then they gonna have a uh, like to say they are might be the only one in that area who does it. So
mhm,
they represent that particular type of art in one area.
mhm.
So that's what we are looking for.
I see. So your goal is to kind of like gather a list or like a
A pool of artists
collection of like
collection. Yeah,
amazing people,
yeah,
right? Amazing artists.
yeah.
And then so will you have like a in-person gathering, like or do you connect with them like virtually? Like how do you envision them kind of doing that collaboration or like working together?
Very good question. Another one, another good question. So for the local artists, it's easy, right? I mean, doesn't matter which category they belongs to.
Mhm,
So they sign a feature contract with the Asian Art in New York, and then we do the promotion. We seek for funding. We initiate project or classes or so how to say uh, workshop, and then we feature them on website and all the social media. So
mhm,
that's easy. For the artists outside of the Albany area, then we sort of gather together, but then that goes to funding and project. So we
mhm,
initiate the correct sort of the proper project, looking for different funding channel. Once the
mhm.
funding we receive for a particular project, and then the artists in that project will be gathered, and then just either rehearsal or a show
Oh.
or exhibition, and then that's the time artists will get paid to do that, and that's the purpose.
That's great. Yeah. So it's kind of like we get people kind of on a list and then ask for funding or figure out a project. And then
Yeah.
once that comes through, then people get together. Do you also see kind of like cross genres? Like if you have like performing art with visual art, like do you envision that happening, kind of like a multimedia sort of ideas?
Yay, of course.
Yes, okay,
We're
wonderful.
like-minded. Yeah, like-minded. Yes, that'll be fantastic. In fact, when I say that we initiate the proper project, the project itself doesn't come like it has to have some sort of purpose or like why do we want to create this project rather than the other, right? I mean, of course, when I'm sort of thinking you know want to find super project for a certain funding, but then there are certain project can certainly bring performance art and visual art and other type of things together, such as everybody knows the Silk Road, and then
Mhm.
for a project like such can do so much with it. I mean, there's in talking about Silk Road, there's certainly a lot like the murals and the artwork and during that period of time, and there's a lot of dancing, a lot of music pieces can get into the picture. It's actually something I'm really looking forward to do in
Mhm.
2026. But I don't want to give a lot of detail for now. Maybe another
Don't give
interview.
away too much.
Uh,
That's
yeah.
exciting. Well, that's super exciting. And do you also envision working with other organizations like similar? So I know this is more focused on New York, but do you know of other organizations in other states or other countries that you might collaborate with?
Very good question. Even in New York State, if you go to the website, asianartsny.org, and by the end, you will see a list of collaboration
Oh,
like partners. So these are the organizations. They are based in New York, so they are musician groups of dance or like organizations. Like so,
mhm,
these are the inside New York ones. But then I do work with organization outside the states, and then there even sometimes international travel artists
mhm,
as well, right? So these are like really by chance because that is getting, it will be getting more difficult to do so. But there are certain times, such as we were talking about trying to do a project. It's called, the classic opera La Traviata. But then we wanted to
mhm,
do Shanghai La Traviata, so like Shanghai 1930s background, and then with a international well-known director and opera performer. So he travels over here. So that's what we started talking, wanted to look at. So I love to work with art and culture. There's so many good things to do, so many inspiring people to work on, to work with. Some of the galleries and art centers are just
mhm.
so much fun. I would also thinking of in our busy life if we can get chance to be able to inspire by art is such a beautiful thing, even for a short period of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just thinking like it's such a unique organization. At least I haven't really come across any organizations that are like what you're describing because now that I'm in Oregon, like there's a lot of different organizations that are like focused on Asian things and like we have like a Japanese garden, we have Chinese garden, we have, community organizations, but I mean, maybe I just don't know, but I don't haven't really seen any that's like really focused on Asian art and bringing, and not just Chinese, right? Like kind of
Yeah, yeah,
Asian art,
yeah.
like a kind of all of Asia. It's just so cool. I love this idea. So I just wondering, if you know of other organizations like this that are in other states. But maybe there's not. Maybe it doesn't exist.
Well,
So you're a pioneer.
oh, thank you. No, I don't. Thank you. I don't think of myself that highly, or the organization. It just built up as the way it is because we see the sort of like the needs for it, and then the fun part of it too, right? And it's a really
Yeah.
fun thing, such as even locally, if you see the website, you would see artists of Chinese and Korean and Indian. Just then it's the blending part of it makes it so much diverse, and it's because each culture have their so unique different art, and then
Mm.
that we're talking about Asia so big right now, we're only starting from East Asia, right? So it can
Yeah.
totally grow.
Can
And
grow.
then I'll be looking forward to know more of your findings in Oregon. I mean, that sounds like a really inspiring place because you have a much larger population there. And then for Asian Art New York, we're only starting. We're still at the starting point. So
Mm-hmm.
um, so it will be a lot of fun things. We're looking, we're opening, we're connecting, and we're going to do. So that's where we are right now.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for sharing all about this really exciting organization. I can't wait to hear more about it as you start growing and have more events. And if there's anything I can help with, I'm more than happy to, work with you, brainstorm, like whatever connections we can make. Like, I'm super excited.
Thank you, Jennifer. I mean, as I said, you helped me so much during the time I stepped into the position of Chinese Community Center president. And then you still keep inspiring me today, you know. So I'm sure I'm gonna ask you for help.
I think we
I don't
inspire
keep
each
bothering you.
other. I'm excited. Yeah, I think it's really important. Like you said, it's like to pass on to our children, to pass on to next generation is like such an important legacy and to really do justice to these artists who are really doing the work. Sometimes it's hard for them to like do the funding or do the production or do the
Yes,
marketing and all that stuff. So it's great
exactly.
that like there's this organization that really their goal is to promote that, so they don't have to do that themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, we
Yeah.
all know that to not every single artist can be able to do a website or manage social media. Some of
Mhm.
them do, some of them really just couldn't. So
Yeah.
these are the things we can help. And then even go back to the early topic we talk about our children, you know, so
Mhm.
how to make our children proud of where they came
Mhm.
from. So
Yeah.
in the sense of Asian Art New York as a mother too. That's part that really thinking all my mind that how can we preserve heritage art, but at the same time how can we encourage our children to be
Mhm.
proud of what we do to get in touch with it more. So I think that's a lot of things we can do together over there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited about the youth part as well, because really promoting that with the youth and encouraging them to take over or to become that next generation master, right? Is like
Yes,
we need.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So I know that you have a few special people that you want me to talk to next, and I would love to make this into a series, and this is the first of our series. Can
Okay.
you tell me maybe a little bit, just like a preview about some of the folks that we might be hearing from in the future?
Okay. So I would like to uh, start with our Tai Chi master, Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but if you go back to the bigger picture, you're welcome to interview every artist, you know, in on the website right now.
Well, if they're willing, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, they are all Asian Art New York featured artists, and then even some of the youth, I think they'll be happy too to be interviewed
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
that'll be so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun. I think so too. But then go back to the masters. I think I would recommend to start with our Tai Chi master. I
Mm-hmm.
think she would be the one of the AMI featured artists to have the longest history because she has been practiced Tai Chi over 30 years. I will show you some of the pictures later on. The pictures back, she was young until now she's like
Mm-hmm.
80 years old. You know, she
Wow.
doing this all the time. And she was trained by Chinese masters.
Mm-hmm.
And then she herself is internationally gold medalist for Tai Chi Fan.
Oh,
Mhm. So
wow.
that's her specialty. There's so much things we can all learn from masters like this. And then what exactly what triggers her into the art of Tai Chi in the first place, and then
Mhm.
what exactly to keep her going that long, and then especially focus on is one of the Tai Chi fan form
Mhm.
of the Tai Chi, and then what
Yeah.
is her thoughts of passing it down, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited. Any other ones you'd like to give us a preview?
Yeah, I would like to thinking of the our Korean dancer who
Oh.
actually she's yeah, I think you might know her. She's the president of Korean community, Korean Association in Albany.
Mm-hmm.
She does traditional Tai Chi, sorry, traditional Korean dance. And
Mhm.
then with her background, she has been always loved it when she was little. Like I always loved picking opera when I was
Mhm.
little. But then really getting to the adulthood that she be able to focus and really learning it. And then right now, she is in the process doing a lot of performance. And again, in our area, she's the only one. What is her plan to start to let it grow and pass it down? So these are the questions really for the masters themselves.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah.
great.
And then our Indian musician Veena Chandra herself, her bio is totally already a legendary person. She started
Mhm.
at 6 years old, uh, and then her father named her with part of the sitar, the instrument. It's
Oh, wow.
interesting, yeah.
Hmm.
And our Chinese dragon dancers.
Hmm.
That's something fun to do. They're so popular. They're so popular everywhere they go. And then some of them are Chinese, some of them are not Chinese. How exactly they get into it and love it so much?
Yeah.
And of course, our Chinese opera, our Peking opera masters, these ladies, they are the one who starting into getting to learning this from like 6 years old and is going
Mhm.
through the straight process of training,
Oh, yeah.
all
Hmm.
years and years and years in order to be really a performer, and especially what is the process to being the Chinese top tier A1 performer. How difficult it is to be that stage. And then
Yeah.
and now Miss Lin Hui, she's a director. What about the show she's going to direct for the H&R New York in fall?
Mhm.
Actually not in fall, in November. So a lot of good things. You can interview. I'm
Oh,
sure you're gonna have fun.
so exciting. I can't wait. Well, do you want to tell us about any events that are coming up? So you mentioned there's a show coming up in November. Any other events that you want people to know about?
Right. So what I'm focusing right now is to get the fall 2025 program open. That'll be
Mhm.
focused on workshops and classes.
Mhm.
That involves pretty much majority of the artists you saw on the website. There's Tai Chi, Chinese opera, calligraphy, Chinese painting, instrument, Korean dance, and all. And then going to the next big event will be the show.
Mhm.
We call it Peking Opera Musical. The name is The Journey of Love and Hope. So it is a original creation, meaning that the story and the script is
Mhm.
created is original. It's not like
Wow.
we're using the classical technique, the Peking opera, and
Mhm.
then incorporate with the musical and the American musical
Wow.
techniques to present the audience as an absolutely brand new thing. This
Mhm.
project was funded by our Center of the Capital Region. So,
Mhm.
we're really looking forward start to really get into the production in September. So we're gonna be busy.
Wow, that sounds like a huge endeavor. That's
It is,
mhm.
especially when you do new creation, from
Mhm.
original creation.
Exactly.
It's a lot
Yeah,
of work, yeah.
that's cool. And those classes and workshops, are any of those online or are they all in person?
Right. So that's a really good question. For now, we're still developing it.
Mhm.
Then a lot of them will be in person.
Mhm.
There are some of them could be suitable online. Thanks for reminding me this. But there's
No, just wondering, it was
technically,
for very selfish reasons because I'm
yeah,
concerned.
okay. Got it. Hey, perhaps you can, let's keep talking about because for online learning, online education, I'm pretty short in that part. So I think you can help me on that. Let's keep talking about.
I'll try. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it sounds everything you're doing is so cool, but I'm not there, so I have to
Yeah,
like somehow
I know.
get
I miss
involved.
you too. I miss you. I really, really miss you.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be so cool. I think if you have it online, then you also open up the audience, right? Then
Yes.
like other people, like no matter where they are, potentially could join or benefit
Hmm.
from that as well. That's so cool. Yeah, I just have so many ideas like
That's
sparked in me.
great. I know you
Really
always have so many ideas.
excited.
I love you
You
for that.
too. Oh, thank you. I love you too.
Oh.
Um, great. Yeah. I mean, anything else you'd like to share about this organization? Like anything you think we missed so far?
we're going through quite a lot of things, but I
Yeah.
just want to address to your audience that um, if you have the chance, and then just consider to spend some time to take a look at the arts that is not on your comfort zone or something you might thinking about. It's interesting, but never get time to. It's not in my, in my picture or my mainstream thing. Just give it a try. Do an experiment to go to something you're always thinking I should go, but I never managed. I don't have time. You might
Yeah.
like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, just to try out and do something that's maybe not in the normal path, right? And you might
yes,
learn something or you might get inspired by something that it was unexpected.
exactly. Thanks for summarizing it for me. That sounds much better.
That sounds good. Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much. It's been so fun talking with you. Can't wait to talk to some of the other artists and kind of get into more detail about their journey and their art. So just thank you again, and I hope to keep in touch and we'll hopefully work together as well.
Totally. The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much, Jennifer.